What's going on, digital family? Welcome back to United Public Square. I'm absolutely buzzing to have you back here with us again. So as we all know, the Premier League started last week and we were very lucky in our first game against Wolves. We just scraped that game 1-0. It was a very close game. Wolves had so many chances. If Wolves have converted all their chances, it was going to be a different story. I know the game ended in controversy with Onana being accused of trying to take the heads off of the Wolves strikers, which, you know, it's subject to a lot of controversy. That call went to VAR, and then we were lucky VAR ruled in our favor. When it comes to preparation towards the game this week, Manchester United played an indoor game against Everton on Tuesday, and Ten Hag has mentioned that it was in preparation and trying to get fitness levels up for all the players involved. Ten Hag also had his press conference, and there's something with United press conferences, it's very, very short. Both their first part and the embargoed combined was a very, very, very short press conference. And I was listening to the Spurs press conference, and there was a huge difference, right? Like, Spurs press conference was almost 30 minutes, and then ours was 15 minutes combined, both embargoed and first part of it. So in both the embargoed and the first part of the press conference, not a whole lot was discussed about the Spurs game. It actually devolved into Maguire and his contract issues and if he's going to stay and play for United. And Ten Hag mentioned that he doesn't have a problem with Maguire staying. The only condition is that Maguire really needs to do what the coach is asking of him. Ten Hag made a statement that Ten Hag has been with the team for a year, so by now everybody should know what is being asked of them. So he also mentioned the fact that Harry Maguire is a world-class player. He plays for England, and as such, he can live to his potential only if he is able to do what Ten Hag is asking of him. Our defensive challenges was also brought to bear when a question was asked about how Casemiro was isolated in our game against Wolves, and Ten Hag mentioned that he did not see it that way, but obviously he also acknowledged and conceded that there's a lot to be learned and a lot of things to be done. He also mentioned the fact that this is a new midfield with Mason Mount trying to learn how to play the defensive midfield role to get alongside Casemiro, whereby Bruno is playing up top in the 8 position. Ten Hag was also asked about tiredness and jet lag due to the preseason travels, and he quickly turned and started talking about FIFA and UEFA overloading the teams with too many games. But he quickly also mentioned that that is not an excuse he's trying to make for the team, but he acknowledges that the team is kind of tired for right now, but it's hopefully going to get better in as the season progresses. He was also asked about Onana and if he felt Onana was trying to overly impress him and the fans. Ten Hag mentioned the fact that he likes proactive players like Onana, but he also cautioned Onana to be able to manage himself. He was also asked if Mason Mount can play in the deep midfield position, and he responded by saying that he expects Mount to be able to play in that position. And he cited an example where Eriksen was able to do the same last season, and that was also Eriksen's first time playing in a very deep lying midfield position. So he mentioned that Mason Mount is a smart player. He's very adaptable, so he expects Mason Mount to be able to play that position. A question also came up about Greenwood and how Erik Ten Hag was feeling about the statement the club put out. Eric quickly said that he would always defer to the statement the club put out, and he is only going to be concentrating on the players he currently have that are available. Eric was also asked about his impression on the Spurs team, and he mentioned the fact that he is not really concentrating on the Spurs team. He respects every opposition, and that is not going to stop him from playing his own philosophy. So I think that Eric wants to play his own game when he goes to Spurs tomorrow, and I believe that Manchester is going to come up with the goods tomorrow. When it comes to the Spurs team, I was listening a bit to the press conference of their new coach. He mentioned the fact that there were no major concerns with the team when it comes to injury wise. They are trying to cope with life without Harry Kane. Obviously, the whole world knows about the fact that Harry Kane went to Bayern Munich and he's no more with the Spurs team. But that is not stopping them. I watched their game last week and they had bits and pieces of ups and downs in their performances. Sometimes they were playing very well, and other times they were under the cosh. So I hope Manchester United is going to take advantage of this situation and probably surprise Spurs when we go there tomorrow. When it comes to team stats, Manchester United is 7th on the table and Spurs are 10th on the table. When it comes to head-to-head against Spurs, Manchester have won 2 games and drew 1 game. The very last game we played against them in April ended in a 2-2 draw. And obviously we won our last game against Wolves, but Spurs drew their last game. So we have a little bit of momentum going into this game. Even though we are playing at Spurs ground, I am believing positively that we are taking some momentum into this game. Alright, so it's prediction time. Let's get our predictions in. Full disclosure, I am using the Manchester United official app for my predictions. So let's get started. To predict the scoreline tomorrow, I think that Manchester United is going to win by 2-1. So let's get that locked in. Manchester United 2, Spurs 1. Or Spurs 1, Manchester United 2, since we are playing at their home grounds. Confirm my selection and my prediction. When it comes to the lineups, let's get our lineups in as well. The goalkeeper is obviously going to be Onana. Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. It's all about Onana. So we know that Onana is going to be the goalie. He was Ten Hag was asked about him during the press conference that was released today. I think it was recorded yesterday but released today, about how overly aggressive and eager Onana is. But Ten Hag on the counter mentioned that he likes proactive players and that he likes his aggressiveness, but only that Onana needs to control that. So that's where we are at with Onana. I know it was really very lucky with the penalty claim from Wolves last Monday, right? The Wolves coach mentioned that Onana almost took out the heads of 2 of the strikers' head. Like, he became almost the executioner. We were lucky with VAR. We never got the call against us, but he needs to be careful, and I agree with that. When it comes to the left back, I know that our man Luke Shaw, he's got the left back locked down. So let's just put Luke Shaw over there. And then when it comes to the central defenders, I am going to be pairing Varane with Martinez. Ten Hag again was asked about Martinez and his fitness levels and the reason he took him out in the game against Wolves. We all know for Shizzle that he was trying to prevent a second yellow card for Martinez because Wolves were really peppering us. So it was the right decision for Martinez to be taken off. And Ten Hag mentioned that Martinez trained today, so he should be available for selection. So he's going to be in my starting lineup. I'm going to, as I already mentioned, I'm going to pair him with Varane. So Varane is an easy peasy choice. So let's get Varane in there as well. I'm going to stick with Wan-Bissaka for this game. I think he's perfectly suited for this game as well. So I'm going to be putting him there. Wan-Bissaka, where are you? There we go, Wambi. When it comes to their middle of the park, I am going to have Mason Mount play alongside Casemiro. And this question was also posited to Ten Hag if Mason Mount is good enough to play in a deep role. And he made an example that Eriksen did the same thing last season, right? And that was Eriksen's first experience playing in the deep lying midfield like that. But he is an adaptable player and a very intelligent player. That is Eriksen, and that is also Mason Mount. And that is the compliment that Erik Ten Hag gave, that Mason Mount is fully capable of doing that job. So I'm going to be putting him in alongside Casemiro. So that we have Mount in there, and then Casemiro obviously is going to be playing. The question also came back why Casemiro was so much isolated in the middle of the park when Mason Mount and Bruno were really playing high up the pitch. But Ten Hag again mentioned he did not see it that way. He mentioned that he saw Mount assisting with the midfield duties, and he also saw Luke Shaw in there as well. So he did not agree to the fact that Casemiro was isolated. But again, he considered that there's still work needed to be done because this is a new midfield and there's obviously a lot of work and cohesion and gelling that needs to take place for this midfield to work well. So there we have it. When it comes down to the right wing, we saw what happened against Wolves, right? We started Garnacho and it was like men against boys in that very game. Semedo wasn't allowing Garnacho to be doing all those runs he did the first time. It looks as if Garnacho is more effective as a super sub, but whenever he starts a game, he finds it a little bit difficult. And I think that is the transition Ten Hag has mentioned in a couple of match interviews, that he needs to make that transition and that maturity needs to be translated even when he's starting. So for this game, I'm actually going to be starting Rashford instead of Garnacho. So let's pick up Rashford, and then in the middle of the park, we are going to have Bruno to be in the middle of the park, and I hope he's going to be very frugal and economic with the ball, spray some delicious passes and all that. I do not want to see the Bruno that we saw in the game against Wolves this Monday, but hopefully he's going to have a quick turnaround. So where is Bruno? There we have it. And then on the right wing, I'm going to start again Anthony. Anthony has a really very good work ethic. He puts in a very good shift and he really gives a lot of output. So hopefully he's going to put a lot of crosses in. Unfortunately, in the game against Wolves, his decision making was poor. Ten Hag also considered that, and I know Ten Hag always rectifies things. So I'm hoping that that correction has been made and Anthony is going to be a better player this season and even translated into the game tomorrow. So there we have it. When it comes to the forward line, it's going to be controversial, right? A lot of people are going to question my decision of playing Sancho actually in the as a false nine, but that's exactly what I'm going to do in this game. I think Sancho can give a lot of output and he's going to thrive in such a game because Spurs is not going to be a low block defending with 10 players. They are going to really come out, and we are playing in their home, so I think we are going to be having a lot of spaces, and Sancho is good technically controlling the ball and all that, so I think he's going to do well in a false nine for this very game. Martial and Highland, our two strikers, are all injured and we do not know their actual return dates, so for now we'll be playing a false nine and sometimes Rashford there up top as well, but for this game I'm going to choose Sancho. So there we have it. Before I confirm it, I'm just gonna read it out again. Our goalkeeper is going to be Onana, that's my prediction, and then with our left back we're going to have Luke Shaw, Martinez and Varane playing in their central defense partners. I'm having Wan-Bissaka on the right back. In the middle of the park, I'm going to have Mount alongside Casemiro. And then on the left wing, I'm having Rashford. And then in the middle of the park, it's going to be Bruno. And then on the right, it's going to be Anthony. And then obviously, my false nine for this game is Jadon Sancho. So let's get that locked in. All right. So now that we have that locked in, our first scorer of this game, I think it's going to be Marcus Rashford. So I'm going in for Rashford as the first scorer of tomorrow's game. So let's get that locked in as well. Let's go Rashi, confirmed. And then our man of the match, or the man of the match in this game, I think it's going to be between, if we have a very tough game, it's going to be Casemiro or Varane. If it's going to be a tough game, like Spurs peppering us and all that, then it's probably going to be a display of some defensive excellence. But I hope that's not the case. I hope we have an upper hand tomorrow in this game. So I'm actually going to go with Bruno as the man of the match. I hope he composes himself this time around and not play like he did against Wolves. So I'm going to take a leap of faith and then give this to Bruno. So there we have it. I have all my predictions locked in. And again, I have my correct scoreline called out. I have my lineup. I have the first scorer. And then I have the man of the match. Again, full disclosure, I am using the official Manchester United app to do my predictions. So you can please go ahead and let me know what you think about this lineup and all my predictions. drop some likes and comments in the comment section of the chat, and let me know how you will line up differently, or if you do agree with my lineup. Make your prediction scoreline in the chat as well, and let me know who your man of the match prediction is also going to be. We do also have a halftime show planned up, so all things being equal and God willing, we are going to be debuting a halftime show, so stay tuned. Buckle up, United fans. The stage is set, the anticipation is real, and the journey is about to begin in the next few hours. Until next time, this is Jerry signing off. Glory, glory, Man United. Peace.